Is everybody else having trouble with
All
Monday's
right,
lineups?
guys. All right. Here we go. Welcome to another episode of SPNHL Talk. We're in season 26, week 2 recap. Full house tonight. I got some guests on with me. Got the GM of the Pittsburgh Penguins, Mr. Polar. What's going on, buddy?
Well,
Hello. All right. Polar's busy doing something, I guess. He was just in here talking, and now he's gone. Polar, you there, bud?
no, yeah, I'm here now.
Ah, there he goes. What's up, buddy?
Yeah, not much. You
Nothing. Well,
excited for week 3 to start up on Monday. That's all.
I bet you are. Team's looking good. Then we have the GM of the New York Rangers, Cosmo. What's going on, buddy?
Not much. How about you?
Nothing, man. Nothing. Just moving along the line here. Just trying to get the show going. I know we're a little bit behind. And then the LA Kings GM himself, Mr. Chico. What's going on, buddy?
Good, Cuban. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. We run the show. We run the show. They have to listen to us.
Hey, bro, I'll step back. I'm
happy to be here, though.
I'll just flick the topic on the board. We'll do a little hot topic, and then I'll do it like that show on ESPN, and I'll mute you. You know what I mean? You get out of hand, I'll just mute you. And I got 5-star in Chicago with the weather, but unfortunately he seems to have technical difficulties. He hasn't chimed in yet today.
His cameraman Seed also is having some technical difficulties.
Yeah. Seed's is going to be a late appearance onto the show. As I've said before many times, guys, please hit me up if you're interested in wanting to be on the show. And I will shoot you the invite the night of the show. Usually I will do it on Saturdays between 9 and 10 o'clock, no later than 11. And the only times I'll have a show on Fridays if I got something going on Saturday and I want to make sure we get a show in for the league. That's what it's about, guys. It's about bringing ourselves to a nice little recap, shining a light on some stuff in the league. So speaking of the league, gentlemen, I have the transactions for this week.
Hey! It's fucking
weather.
It's fucking cold out here. But I'm looking for a deer right now. I'm gonna listen. I gotta find this son of a bitch. I'll be here though, guys.
He'll be tuning in throughout the episode to let us know where he's at with the deer chasing and how weather is in Chicago. Thank you, Five.
Hell yeah.
Back to us in the studio. So here we go on the 13th of October. I may have gone over these already, but I'm just going to jump right into the 13th because I'm pretty sure that's where we left off at. Boston trades away Noel to Calgary for Dangle for Days. We had that's a pretty even trade. One
Do you want to comment on each trade, or are you okay?
Listen,
just going over them.
Well, let me go through this day's transactions, then I'll fire off to you guys. Right off the rip, on the 13th, we had six or seven transactions. Boston trades Noel to Calgary for Dangle. The Islanders then trade Can't Tread on Me, a.k.a. I call him Tread, to the Senators for One Shot and Shaker. That One Shot and Shaker, I mean. Boston then trades Quincy to L.A. for Arrow Hunter. Ottawa then signs Cam 123 off of free agency. LA then signs Sean 040798. The Flames then trade Frody to LA for Chad Kills, and the Vegas Golden Knights pick up Murphy 87. So going over these, what do you guys say? What are you thinking? Right off the rip, Boston, Noel, Calgary, Dangles. What do we got?
That's an even one straight. I would do that one straight up. Dangle's a good left wing. Noel's good at what he does out there. Any position Noel's really good at, pretty much. So that's pretty even.
Well, Dangles is good. Sorry to interrupt, but Dangles is a great defenseman. A great defenseman if he can be there. That's for sure. Speculation's availability wasn't there that much. So that's why maybe he wanted to trade him, because those two defensemen should have stayed under each of their team if something went wrong on one of them. So
right,
two great defensemen there.
Yeah, usually when you see two big names switch like that, it's either
it's for a
because
reason.
it's locker room reasons, in my opinion. It's
Yeah.
something going on in each team's house, and they just want to switch it up and see what happens. And then you got Tread to the Senators for that one shot and shaker. And I mean, to me, honestly, that's a risky move for the Islanders and Seeds. Obviously, he'll be on a little bit later. I like Tread. I know he's a very solid defenseman. Play with him at center. He's very good defensively as a center. It's a plus for Tricks, in my opinion, because he gives him the flexibility to move off of center so he can be a little more flexible with his team.
Yeah,
Actually, that was a risk and reward, to be honest.
He kind of opened up some cap there, too. So, I mean, even though most teams' caps are huge right now, if he was low
I'm
on
broke.
Cap, that Tread's a very solid D-man. He was one I would actually put on my team. You know, he's the kind of guy you want in your locker room at that too. So I mean, those are the kind of guys you want: good guys on the ice and good guys in the locker room. So
with Dirty Tricks, I faced that team, and I told him personally he made that team a lot better just with that trade. That's like Kent can actually play a lot of good forwards with a good like game plan with Dirty Tricks, and also with the later on in the trades you'll see that he added another guy. But also from Seed's point, yes, one shot is risk and reward, but he's always at the end a great player, and that's always going to be that thing, risk and reward. But Shaker became his number one, if we're going to see it later on, for his team.
Right. Any of these other transactions from that day? Sharp. I mean, it's just pretty much rookie for rookie, and a couple acquisitions over there in free agency.
All I want to say is good luck, Seeds, with one shot. Make sure you have a good
daycare
security on your fucking PlayStation. That guy's a sneaky son of a bitch. I'm going back.
All right, so next day on the 14th, Boston staying busy, as we're going to see throughout these transactions. Boston is a shaker and a mover. Boston trades Turd Burglar to Toronto for the gang shooter. Then Boston signs Joe Ja off of free agency. Toronto then signs Steelers fan for $6.5 million. The Islanders trade M. Hook and Redbeard to Pittsburgh for smash and grab. Then you have another transaction with Pittsburgh. Polar staying busy. Trades M. Hook for McClub, and then Pittsburgh trades Druin to the Rangers for V-Raz. Right off the get, again, Boston and Pittsburgh making moves. Obviously, Polar, you're doing moves because you took over Browns' team, and now you got to shake things up. Obviously, in the locker room.
From the draft, there's two people who were drafted by Pittsburgh, and that's Cap and me. The rest have been traded off and reacquired. There's only two people out of a 10-man roster who are Pittsburgh.
So
the team's been blown up.
No, like I said, you're gonna make it to fit your style of play and what you want to do as a GM. You know what I mean? Everyone has what their vision is of what style of player and style of hockey they want to play, and you go out and you know these guys who they are. That's why you always see the same GMs with the same guys. It isn't because they're best friends. It's because 99% of the time they know how they want to play hockey, and they get the guys.
It's still early to change to your style of play.
Exactly. You can still make those moves.
There's still moves I want to make, but right now I like where the team's at, and it's not like I have to make moves.
Right.
But if a deal comes along that's I think will improve the team in the long run, I'm not going to say no.
Right.
But taking the first week was just about moving guys and getting a new group of guys in who actually want to play. Because if you were week one in Pittsburgh, you can't say you wanted to finish your season there.
Well, obviously, what had happened after week one, going into week two, and then moving you in, that kind of led to what that team and that roster kind of started to do, and then you came in. You're turning it around, man, after 1 week, and that's a great job by you. We'll touch on that. Moving on to the 16th now. The Rangers trade Cesar and Tyler to Pittsburgh in return for McClub and Need for Speed. Pitt then releases Addy Brandt, and then in probably one of the classiest moves, very telling of how in the league we've grown. St. Louis, El Rookie had a trade set up with Reaper. Then El Rookie reversed on the trade because there wasn't any contact from the player he traded to Reaper, thus returning the original player Snatch back to Reaper, and El Rookie taking back Vincent 13 for inactivity. And nothing for nothing, not to get sidetracked, just quickly touching on it, like as a whole.
Respect.
Yeah, man, that's respect, dude. Yeah. Like he didn't have to do that. He could have just been like, "F you, buddy." Like he was talking to me, and that's that, and kept the active guy and gotten rid of it, inactive guy.
But we had another, like there was another 2 teams that had that problem, and we just talked on the trade before where the player was moved and the availabilities ended up switching on him.
Yeah, but the player's active. This guy didn't talk at all. Like there wasn't any connection after the trade was announced, and he was trying to get his line set. This person never replied, never said anything, never did nothing. Mm-hmm. So that was like, yo, dude, like this guy isn't replying to anything. Has he replied to you? And he's like, the last I talked to him was this day, and I haven't heard shit since either. So I didn't know what was up. So, and he took him back, and then he got removed from the list of available players. Obviously, Rookie has the whole entire free agent list to play with. So. You can lose a guy and not be beaten up for playing.
No, we gotta. I feel we gotta do something about free agency.
We'll talk about it. But again, classy move by El Rookie for taking that back big time.
Big ups to you.
Yep.
Yeah, big ups to you.
There.
And then Vegas sneakily jumps in on that Toronto waiver and picks up Steelers fan. The following day, Dallas picks up Addy Brandt. And then the day after that, on the 17th, Dallas trades Steel 243 and Dodge.
You skipped over Toronto signing Boosie Bad.
I did say Toronto signed. Did I say no? Toronto. Okay, Toronto signs Boosie Bad for $1.5 million, and then Vegas claims I did skip it. Steelers fan.
They've dropped him and acquired him and dropped him so many times. It doesn't.
But he's still on the team as of right now. I don't look at any transactions as of right now. Then we have Dallas on the 17th trading Steel 243 and Dodge's Blue Shells to Boston for Grip, which I think was huge. And then Boston releases Tar Pit to the free agency. Dallas acquiring Grip, I think, is a big move for him. The team was struggling, and he needed a forward, and he went and grabbed it.
Our boy Pete's staying busy.
Gripping is a great right wing as long as he can hit the net.
I was just gonna say, Grip is Tink Tink 2.0. Tink Tink version 1 is AKA MG, who is on your team, and he's Tink Tink, and Grip is Tink Tink 2.0.
Dude,
he was playing well with Shepard against us. I could say, like, when he was against us, he was playing very well with Shepard right away. Cycling and everything.
When you look at Dallas on paper, they look like a top team.
Amazing. It's really surprising to see where they're at in the standings, bro. Yes,
that's what I'm saying. It's like if you look at their team on paper, they look like a very solid team, like a top 1 to 5 team.
But that's the thing. Avenge has never made a horrible team.
No, he really hasn't. He always gets decent players. It's just availability sometimes gets him in the end.
Exactly.
Monday,
always availability
with this LG and VG crap.
Hey, and that's the risk you take when you take some guys that play multiple leagues. We'll get into that a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, that is a huge risk when you take those guys, though.
Moving on to the 18th, New York releases Blazing Hippie. Boston, staying busy, signs Kush. 418 QC, and then Toronto sneakily moving Trouble Kid and Nocturnal Turtle to the Islanders for Bruiser. That's freeing Mansell up from having to play goalie. And then Montreal, under new ownership, we will touch on that right after this, signs Tar Pit for 1.5 million, and that ends up right back to where we are today. I didn't see anything transaction-wise posted today, nor do I know of anything going on. Do you guys know? I'm gonna take a look.
I know there's some.
I'll go take a look.
But
We're not speculating. It has to be posted.
That's trade deadline talk right there. Speculations.
There is something.
There are some on there, but they are not official. So
yeah, nothing's official yet. Yeah. Nothing's official.
What's with Bruiser for life? Wasn't he a very good goalie, like a good goalie out there? And Islanders wanted to give him up. Like I don't get it.
I think it's an availability thing.
Is it?
I think he was good, and then something happened at work, and now he can't play as much as he can, and his schedule conflicts with what Seeds was doing. When Seeds comes on, he can maybe shed a little more light onto it. I don't want to speak out of turn, but that's from what I've gathered.
No, he's a name out there. He's not a nobody.
Right.
He played a few good seasons.
So those are the transactions leading into this wonderful week 2, end of week 2, going into week 3. And there are a few things posted. We're waiting just for some approvals, but we will get those all caught up to you guys next week once they get posted. As we go into this wonderful week 3, guys, I want to look at the end of this week at league leaders. Okay. So we're going to look at some league leaders and take a look at what we see. Now, mind you, I did catch stat error.
Player-wise or team-wise?
There is a player whose stats aren't quite up to par.
Forward, defenseman?
Goalie.
Goalie. We're going into goalies right now?
A goalie? No. We're starting with forwards, but there's going to be a goalie with these amazing stats, but there's glaringness. So let's see if you could spot the goalie.
Later on.
I've already spotted it like last week, and it's still not fixed.
No, it's still not going to be fixed, bro. Still not going to be fixed. All right, let's hide this. I apologize for the craziness. Everyone tell me when they're good. Oops.
Well, I have the thing on my
Okay,
laptop,
you already have it up?
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Just tell me where we're going, and I'll
league leaders, forwards. We're going to go right off the get. Right down the list. Boom, boom, boom.
All set up. You're good on the site.
All right, thank you, bro. So league leading forwards, we'll do like the top 25. Just running down the list right now by points. And number 1 is Tyler Seguin. I had the pleasure to play against him last night, and the dude just finds the goddamn net. He's right there all the time. Then we got Stoner in Chicago, Ben from Toronto, Fish always up there. Cornette is up there sitting at 5th. And then you got MJ, then you got Red Flag, then you got Reaper, you got Jamie Benn from Toronto, and then you got True Legend rounding out the top 10. Obviously, all familiar names, right? Well, except for Ben. Ben is new to me. That's a surprising name to be up there, definitely in the top 3.
I think isn't that a rookie or no?
I'll look, but
no, he's like 5.5 or something like that.
Is he?
No, Jamie Benn is like 5.5 or something.
Not Jamie Benn.
No, Benner.
Not Jamie Benn. Benner.
Oh, Benner?
Yeah.
I think he's a rookie, yeah.
Yeah, he's a rookie.
So, I mean, there you go. Like, Mansell found himself one right there with that guy. So, we got to keep our eyes open for that guy because he's got some points, boys.
It blows my mind. Where's Lindy? Is it just me that I'm blind? But
another name you don't.
He's not. He's Lindy's running another team in VG. He only plays Mondays. He only plays Mondays at 9:00, and then I've been managing him and Cornette because Cornette only has 11 games played as well. Like you're looking at these dudes, 15 games, 17 games, 17 games, 18 games. Sure. 17, but you got Red sitting up there with 11 games played. You got Cornette sitting up there in the top 10 with 11 games played.
Yeah, I mean, Chief and Burst.
Well, they're below the top 10, but still games played.
Yeah.
So, I mean, of course, these guys are leading the league in stats. I mean, outside of Seguin, because the point differential between Seguin and Stoner is ridiculous.
Games, no?
But yeah, it's games played too. Like you got these guys that are playing full weeks, and then you got these other guys that are playing like, you know, they're 3 to 6 games a week guys, and they're, you know, playing different leagues and or just not being available right now. And
for sure,
you see them still putting up decent points. So, you know, once they become, or if they ever become 9 game a week guys during the season, like you're going to see them put up some major points.
Yeah.
So outside of the top 10, filling out 20 through 11, you got Burst Night Owl with 12 games played, obviously, 38 points. Kid Money with 16 games, 38 points. You got Chief with 12 games played, 38 points. You got MG with only 10 games played. Again, here's a guy that probably, if he had like another 5 games under his belt, would probably be in the top 10, sitting with 37 points. Cookie with 33 points. Loyalty with 31 points. Then you got Dallas. You got this Badu.
Yeah, great rookie. And
9
VG.
games played. 9 games played. 30 points, man. That's crazy.
Yeah, 51 shooting percent too. So,
I mean, can't complain with that, guys. Then you got McClub with 28 points. You got King Limey, aka Kingly Me, over at Pitt with 10 games played, 27 points. Hardy with only 8 games played. That's surprising. 27 points still, man. He's a scorer.
Got a strong 3.4.
Oh yeah, dude, very strong. Hardy's a beast. And then you got Ransom going into the bottom right here. I'm only doing the 25. I'll stop right there. Haha, poor guy.
Freaking Ryan Getzlaff, 7 goals, 20 assists.
Yeah, bro. Like beast. But that's Ransom. Ransom disher, bro. He gets in the corner, he gets you in there, and then he dishes it right off, and you're in trouble. Tricks with 11 games played. Really? Only 11 games played, Tricks? Holy smokes. Oh, no, you know what? That's only as a forward. I guarantee he's got games played on defense.
We'll see.
We'll see if he even scores any on defense. And then you got Redbeard and then Grip with 12 games played. I don't know how many with Dallas. Obviously just went there. And then you got Dead Rising with 25 points in 8 games played there. So that's the top 25 scores right now. Again, like there's some names that you were like, oh man, like Trout or Lindy and Burst, like they're not in the top 10. But yeah, you know what? Like those guys only played 12 games. You got guys out here like MG with only 10 games played. You had Baidu for Dallas with only 9 games played.
Ransom only had 7 at forward. I mean,
here, let's go crazy here. Let's do points per game. Outside of this guy, that's like 3 goals, 2 assists in 1 game. You got Segan, Cornette, and there you go. Red Flag, you know, Ransom, MG, Stoner. Like these guys got more than like 6 games played as a forward, rocking some serious points right there.
I don't want to be rude, but Dead Rising is a very surprising player right there. That came from, he wasn't unknown, but he was right. Like, wasn't he a defenseman at first when he came into?
I think he was, yeah.
Okay, so I'm just saying, the 3.1 is very surprising, and happy for him to be playing forward what he likes.
So I mean, just looking at points per game, you know, then you're gonna see the familiar names that we're used to seeing. You know, you got Segan still sitting up top. 4.7, then your Cornet at 4.2, and you got Red Flag at 4, Ransom with 3.9. I'm skipping the guys that don't have at least 6 games played. MG 3.7, Stoner 3.4, Ben with 3.4, Hardy 3.4, Baidu 3.3, Burst 3.2, Chief. Now you're seeing, you know what I mean? Now you got your heads in there. You got your Fishers, your Dead Rising.
Yeah.
I don't know why it says free agent. This guy's no free agent. He's on my team. Dirty
that
Dietrich.
was some things that was confusing.
Yeah. Dirty is playing for the New Jersey Devils. He is my Friday night center.
I heard his schedule opened up, and you're a lucky guy right there.
No, his schedule really didn't open up though because
but he was able to only play 3, and that was all the late nights before.
He still only has 7 games because he only played 3 for me last week, and he played 4 for me this week because he was able to fill in on Monday night at 10:30.
Yeah.
And I put him in Monday night at 10:30. Then Tuesday he didn't play, and then he played for me all 3 on Friday. And he's
don't you hate that though? Playing one guy, isn't it?
No,
irritating?
The only frustrating part comes, bro, is when he can only play that night. Well, he can only play his 3 on one night. So if my guys can't play those other 2 nights, now I'm in trouble. Like I got to put someone who doesn't normally play a position in a position.
I have a similar case with one of my players. I have a similar case, but it's where it worked out from now to the end, I think.
We played against that Dirty last night there.
Yeah, no. He's Friday nights. I try not to be on. I'm trying to let Fridays be everyone else. I'm trying to just do 6 a week. If I could do 3, I will.
Me too. Friday nights.
I play goalie. I play goalie. Imagine.
He was a good center for you guys last night. I didn't know what to expect from him. I didn't really know the name. Definitely surprised me in our game. So
yeah, he literally was a late, like right before the draft, jumped into.
Yeah, I was looking to pick him up.
Yeah, dude. Like he tried out for me. I ended up not drafting him because I had Burst, and I thought Burst was going to be good for all 9. So be it. He wasn't. Burst works on Fridays on and off, and I was like, oh, cool, Dietrich. Like that actually fits my thing. And he said, and we were literally in a chat talking about me putting a bid in for him. And then no sooner than we're talking, he's like, oh, Chico just placed a bid on me. And I was like, shit. And then I looked at what you had for Cap and what I had for Cap. I said, all I can do is place a bid and hope he doesn't rebid, because if he goes up one more bid over mine, I lose you. Like I can't get you at that point because he's got like 4 million in Cap. I only got 1.5. But you didn't rebid, and I thank you for that very much.
Yeah, he opened for me. He told me that he opened up Fridays, and so I couldn't do it. At first, he was like, "Oh, I could only do the late nights of each day." I was like, "I can't do that."
Yeah, he was like I said, he only played 10:30 for me that one game, and then he was able to play Tuesday 10:30, but I didn't need him, and then he was able to, of course, play Fridays. The game 1, game 2, and game 3, but in the same respect, like it's hard to want to, like, you get these guys and their availability, and it's like, dude, if it doesn't fit what you're trying to do, like it sucks. Like I can't really take that, but it fits right now for me. So, and he does well. Going over to the defenseman, we got the league leading point getter in defense. Is it Stevie or is it Stivey? Stevie. Okay.
Like
Stivey.
I like Stivey. Or Sty 7. Sty 766. No, it doesn't, but I still like butchering names, and I will figure out a nice way to Saint I 7. How's that?
Ooh.
So he's got 37. He's got 37 points, leading the pack. Then out of nowhere, Slim Shady jumped up this week.
I was saying that. I was about to say that.
Bro, out of nowhere, he comes in.
He was like, I refuse everything. And everyone that wants me goalie, you guys can get off of me. I want to play defense this season.
No, he's up there in points, I'll tell you what. Yeah. But when you got, mind you, when you got Ben, Tyler, and Jamie, you know what I mean? Yeah. Sitting up front. He's working
with 4 forwards. He's working with 4 forwards.
You're gonna get assists. All you got, absolutely. You just gotta throw it up there to them guys. Yeah. Then you got my rookie, MG's brother, Guns, sitting in 3rd, 19 points. And then we got the Weather with 5-star over here with 18 points. He stepped out. And then you got the dynamic duo of Breezy and Ajax there in the New York Islanders with 14 points each. And then you got Mansell making an appearance here in the top 10.
Yeah, Mansell's up there. I didn't even notice that.
Let's take a moment and reflect on Mansell in the top 10 of defense. What the fuck are you doing on defense, Mansell? No, seriously.
He can't put himself in forward and mess up the chemistry.
Well, I'm just saying, dude. Like, no, hell no. He better not get up and forward.
He's getting his team points.
No, his team is on spotlight for me after last night's games. Literally 46 giveaways, 35 takeaways, which is very, very decent. 16 plus minus, which you take with a grain of salt when you got those 3 forwards sitting in the top 10. But still, let's like not look on that. He does have a plus 16. He's rocking 18 games in there, all on defense, 1 goal, 13 assists. He's not hurting his team, and he's definitely helping because, I mean, those 35 takeaways and 46 giveaways are huge. Yeah. Great job on defense, man. So keep it up, buddy. And then a staple in the top 10 here, you got Doug CBJ, 14 games played, 4 goals, 10 assists. A little light on the points for Doug, as you that's very un-Douggish. Usually sitting up there with like 2 points per game.
He's relaxing. He's waiting for those playoffs to come.
He probably is. I mean, they're literally, that team is rolling right now in the West.
They're stacked. So you look at that team and they're stacked.
Again, it looks good on paper, but it's translating to greatness on the stat sheet as well. So, again, Reaper, veteran GM, always in the playoffs, knows what he's doing, knows the guys he's going for. 61 giveaways, 43 takeaways for Doug. Again, top notch. And then you got, of course, then another dynamic duo of Iachoku and myself. 6 games and 11 games played each, 13 and 12 points, plus minus 15 and 10. Giveaway takeaways, Iachoku 37 and 11, a little bit light, but only 6 games played, mind you. And then Cuban, of course, leading the league, and not quite leading the league. There's someone else a little slim up here with me, but 94 and 43 on giveaway takeaways. I'm a little more riskier with my passing than I should be. And that's our top 10 there. Let's scroll down 11 through 20. You got Stud sitting up there. You got Ransom, who's playing some defense along with playing offense for UCAS.
Yep. Yeah, he's filling up both places actually for me right now. I mean, he doesn't really like playing defense, but I mean, he understands right now it's what's helping the team get wins.
So he's doing his role, man. 39 giveaways, 27 takeaways, plus 11. You got Snake over there, Chico, great D-man. I had the pleasure of playing with him last season. He's very, very good with the puck.
Yeah, he's coming in clutch, always.
Very comfortable with the puck and moving up the ice. I know him as a center. He's a great, amazing center. Great forechecking center. I hate playing against him. But him on defense is very good as well because he knows how to handle the puck and move up the ice and get breakouts going. So, yeah. You got Free Fi over at Ottawa. Then you got Dangles and Dodge over in Boston. Team Run. Great defenseman. Only 9 games played. Was kind of surprising. Might be an availability thing. I know he plays LG. Me and him are on the same LG team together. He's great. I love playing alongside of him. So I know Avenger's got a good one right there. 44 and 31 over there with his giveaway takeaways, which is like awesome. Then Worry About. I don't know much about Worry About. 4 games, 8 points.
I do. Personally, it was me and Irish's friend that played club, a lot of club with us in sixes. He's not all of a defenseman, but personally, I like him better on defense. He's like a very patient person with the puck. So I a lot of people know him as a forward. I think so, but we like him more on defense, and that's where he's been playing, I guess, for Irish before.
And then we got Lemols. Then you got Dynasty, Monoku, Noel, Egg, Kraka, and the GM formerly of the Montreal Canadiens, Irish, which we will touch on as soon as we're done our stat watch here, guys. Going into the last position, and the most interesting position right away, because it's hard to judge. League leading goalies.
This one is hard to judge on because it doesn't track.
So right off the get, you are. But right off the get, what sticks out to you here, guys? Just take a look at that screen. Just saying.
There's something a little fishy there.
Something a little fishy.
Sports, you've been a GM for I don't know how long, and you still up on stats.
You got a 97.5 save percentage.
Get the fuck out of here.
24 goals allowed with a 4.80 goals against.
Yeah, but he I don't know how he messes up, but also he sent me a player, Frody, and Frody has, I think, 3 games played or 4 games played or something like that, and he has assists and goals in nets or something. I gotta check it out after too.
Well, but what's even
Sports,
more
he's been a
impressive with
GM.
Sports is he's only given up. He's got 80 shots and 78 saves as well.
Yeah,
that's baller. Sports.
I think Pliskin needs to read to.
That's the
When
kind
I
of goal
first
you want.
became GM,
No, he fixed Frody. I just saw it right now.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So here's how we normally talk about goalies. I tend to immediately go to games played, but with goalies it's kind of iffy. What Pliss likes to talk about is opportunities, how many chances a goalie has, and we go to shots allowed. So right now, right off the get, shots allowed, we're looking at, my opinion, and I'm very biased because I love this guy to death, Vezi, a.k.a. Jaddy, number 1. Already has an assist in the books, 12 wins, 3 losses, 214 shots against, 183 saves, 85 save percentage, only 31 goals against, and 2 shutouts.
Vegas goaltender.
Yeah.
I can't pronounce that name.
Cape Machlon.
or whatever.
He looks good on
yesterday
I'm
night,
not saying a great team, but he looks good.
Yesterday night, I think I have the stats on my phone, and I can tell you, we put on 31 shots. I think it was like 8 minutes of time on attack.
Mm-hmm.
Now that guy looks good, very good.
He is solid.
I have not seen him. I've played against Plisk both times. I think we played Vegas, and
I think we played against. We didn't play against Plisk when we played Vegas. I think it might have been him and net.
Nah, I played Plisk. I haven't seen Cape yet, but his stats are good. I mean, 84%. With 173 shots against, 3-6 record. I mean, Gamer obviously is up there, 73%, which we've known is a solid goalie. Mikester 94 for Dallas with 9 games played, having Hold on your team. Avengers playing Mikester. I don't know if Hold's availability is a little bit shaky, but this guy's.
I don't know. When we played Dallas, we played against Hold. So.
Yeah, I played against Hold. You got Shaker, who's literally the man who's ready to play. I know that for a fact. 67% doesn't tell the story. This guy's been used and abused a little bit, but I in my opinion, from what I've seen, sorry guys, very solid goalie in my opinion. Just needs to find a home and be able to set some roots down. You got Buds with 125. And then you got Johnny from Colorado, very solid. There's Hold with 8 games played. You Murder. What's up with You Murder?
Your murder.
Your murder. Your mother. Your father.
I mean,
69%.
He's been catching.
Yeah, 69% ain't too eye catching, but I mean. 6-4 for you, 35 goals against, 3.18. Like,
I don't know. He's had a lot of off games. He's a great goalie, but he just had, I don't know, naturally off games, and there's some saves in the games at the moment that he makes for us, but it doesn't show on the spreadsheet,
Right.
But he's not a goalie. I knew that the first season he came, he was an outstanding goalie. Because, I don't know, it showed in the stats. But now with working and school, he's more concentrated into that. And when he gets into with us, he doesn't practice that much too. So,
right. So
I don't know what to say.
No, it's cool, man. And then we got goals against here. Obviously, no, I don't want to look at it like that. Let's do goals against average.
No, that one's hard to go by too, because guys who haven't played are have zeros.
Well, like I said, that the other one that I look at is games played, and then with games played, you got a good chunk here. You got Gamer, Vezi, Shaker, your mutter, your father, your aunt, and your uncle too. Sergeant Von Deuce, Buds, Mike, Johnny, Cape, Hold Fast. I mean, those right there, you're looking at those guys. You wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, right?
Yep.
All have, over 100 shots faced. You got your save percentage, Cape 84, Johnny 81. You got Vezi, aka Jaddy, 85, and then you trickle downs into your 78s and 76s with Mike, Svantus, and Hold. And then you got, Gamer at 73. Gave up a bunch of goals. I don't know what's going on there. But then, you got the 67s and the 60s.
Okay.
So,
well, I do have that Vegas goalie, Plisk has said. He's very strong, and he'll be a strong contender for the Vezina. If we can help him out, that's going to be the test.
Well, Vegas controls their fate. I'll tell you what, they're holding on to it. So, but as of right now, in my opinion, we're looking at this guy right here holding it down. And if he continues to do what he's doing, this team is going to be tough to beat. I'll tell you what.
Oh, you mean my name?
I'm not talking about you, Kaz.
I was just giving you shit.
No, give me shit. But Jaddy holding it down for Anaheim, hands down.
Well, I didn't play. I wasn't in that. I think it was Mooner when we played them, and that was a 2-1 game. And my team literally gave full credit to Anaheim and their goalie for keeping them in that game. They said he was a great goalie, made some tremendous saves. So.
All right, guys, let's look over the Western Conference standings. I don't know if you guys know the playoffs. Obviously, he has it posted here. Top team from each division get a bye, and then the fourth seeds would be eliminated. So within the division, yes, it isn't total by the West. It's by the division. So you have an opportunity if you are out of that bottom spot, regardless of what it is. You know what I mean? Like if they just have more points than them, they still get in because they're in the top 3 of that and they're in the top 3 here. The bottom ones get whacked off. So right now, Colorado is out, St. Louis is out, and it would be Las Vegas versus Los Angeles with Anaheim getting a bye, Dallas versus Calgary with Chicago getting a bye. So looking at that, knowing this is, everyone's in it. Like, look how close these stats are right now. You got Colorado 2 points out of a spot. St. Louis is 5 points out. That's literally one night of Vegas going 0-3 and them going 3-0, and boom, they jump them like that. And that happens all the time. Yeah. Win 3, they lose 3. Now you're sitting in the playoffs.
That literally that happens. I mean, you snap your fingers and you could be in the playoffs, or you can be out of the playoffs.
Right now in the West, in my opinion, it's a 3-team race, and it's going to probably be the same 3 teams throughout, unless some craziness happens in the next 2 weeks with trades and everything. It's Anaheim, LA, Chicago.
Yeah. Calgary, I think if they can get their stuff together, could make a small run. They got the pieces.
I don't know what's up with them, man. I really don't know what's going on with them.
I think Dallas could also go, get going. They got some talent over there.
Like I said, on paper, if you look at Avengers team on paper, they look like an easy first in their division type team. You know what I mean?
Right.
I feel like Calgary, they can't put all the weight on True Legend and Red Flag.
I think, like I said, that team needs to be blown up next season.
See, here's the only thing. I've got to give a shout out to 5.0. He's running Chicago. He's had rough seasons, like every season I've been here, and he's up there leading the division. He's an outstanding guy, and he deserves to have this. So
that's true. 5 seasons of shit to get first in the division finally.
I said this in the pre-show before the season. On paper, 5 always drafts very, very well and picks up great players, but then when they get on the ice, it doesn't turn into wins. It turns into a shit show, and before you knows it, like the season's gone. You know what I
And
mean?
you know what it is? You know what it is? When a player gets drafted by a GM they know have had rough seasons continuously, they're not like as excited to play. Like, you know what I mean?
Yes.
So it doesn't show. Like if Kornet get drafted by you or 5, it's like their will to play is a lot different. So that's why it hasn't shown.
It's also players with you next who are around
Yeah.
you. Like, I mean, you get one good guy, but if you have, 9 bad guys out there on the ice with it, or well, you can't have 9 and 10. But if you have 9 shitters in your locker room, and then you got one, elite player, he can't carry the whole team to the playoffs.
You just
5 drafts, great. I respect the guy. He's a great guy. He always drafts well, and I'm glad it's finally, showing up.
To me, keeping morale up is a big thing.
And then
definitely.
Without
you can get going. No, I cut you off.
If you can't keep morale up, like even like if you're a bottom team, if you can't keep your morale up, you're every night you're going to be asking for trades.
Well, let's not kid ourselves. That whole team knows each other. That whole team has, I believe, won a cup together, or am I mistaken?
Which one? Chicago? We're talking about Chicago right now, not Calgary.
Yeah, Chicago. Those 4 players or 5-player, 5-star.
No,
Stoner.
It was
Fisher.
It was Fish and Stud that won the cup with or was in the playoffs.
No.
Those guys,
they didn't win a cup.
No, went to the cup finals is what I meant to say.
Went to the cup finals.
Okay.
They didn't win the cup.
But
they
those
lost.
guys know each other. It's not like a 5-point drafted 5 good players and put them all together. Those guys had chemistry before. So for them to be up there for me is not surprising. It's actually
I know what you're
expected.
These guys have familiarity with each other's play style. So when they get on the ice, they're going to be clicking a little bit sooner.
Expected to click. Yeah,
But
absolutely.
that's a good point. You can draft 2 superstars, but when you play the 2 superstars together, they no longer become superstars.
Well, that's what you got to draft guys they know, or try and get guys they know, or have similar play style to players that they know.
Complement. You need guys to complement.
Because you can have 2 superstars the season before, and you put them there, and you two.
And another one. As much shit as Reap and I give each other in different chats, he drafts a great team, and he deserves to be up front on his division. Sorry, Chico. You have a good team.
Oh no! Next week we'll change it. Don't worry about it.
I love it.
Don't worry about it.
I had the pleasure of facing both your squads, and both your teams are very, very solid. I'll tell you what.
Yeah. I haven't faced Anaheim yet. The first time I faced them, I believe I wasn't there, and we took a forfeit because it didn't have enough players. So I'm looking gladly into the future and can't wait to play them.
That'll be a great game, man. I can't wait to hear the story about that one. It's going to be good. That's a good team. Looking at the rest of the West, obviously, I mean, it's these other 5 teams are literally just battling for the playoffs, in my opinion. You got the Chicago, the Anaheim, LA, and then you got Calgary, Dallas, Colorado, Vegas, and St. Louis, all still in the hunt, still working on the playoff spots.
I'm very surprised with Colorado. Is that too soon? But
it is too soon, in my opinion. Like one game, they're just 1 game out. They had a bad week. You know what I mean? 3-7 this week. Egg isn't afraid to mix things up.
Their team looks a lot better, but might be just me.
Could be availability too. I mean,
yeah.
You don't quite know if the guys haven't shown up yet, and he's just.
I see Dallas getting out of the the 4th best team in that West.
I mean, Carolina started off kind of slow last year too, and it looked like they were going to be blown up, and then all of a sudden availability cleared up for guys, and everything started clicking.
Yeah.
So, but that's how the West looks right now, guys, and with Chicago, Anaheim up top, and then LA right on the heels of those other 2 teams for the top spots. Let's take a look over here at the East.
There's nothing to see over there.
Not really. There really isn't. But it does lead into the conversation that we're going to have about the great Montreal Canadiens here. You got the Rangers, and then you got New Jersey, and then you got Montreal, Ottawa, Boston, Toronto, New York, and Pitt. Pitt, obviously, with New York are tied with New York holding.
Pittsburgh's coming to get New Jersey. I'll say it now.
No,
Yeah.
the Islanders. We're coming for the Islanders.
Don't worry about it. The Islanders.
What they're taking it one game at a time. 3-6-1 for Seeds and his squad, and then Polar 6-3-1 this week with his squad. Obviously, he as he had touched on, they're just trying to do it day by day, and they
That's
knew
exactly it.
strong, and they did. 6-3-1 is a great come up.
We're talking about they were talking about a game that happened Monday that we should have had it. I said, listen, focus on tonight. Don't focus 3 games ahead and don't focus 3 games back. Focus on what we have in front of us, and then as soon as we're where we want to be, then you could talk about games where we want to be.
Right. And then you got Pete making all these moves, and it shows in the record a little bit, 2-5-3, 3 overtime losses. But they're still there, man. They're like right there. They're just on the cusp of making a playoff spot. You know what I mean? And there's still 3 weeks left. So it's like there's not really a whole. He's just trying to get availability. You know what I'm saying?
I feel like Montreal would be a lot higher if it didn't that big shebang wouldn't have happened.
Higher is they would have more points, or they would be higher than us in the standings?
They'd be close to you. They'd be closer than what they are right now.
Stop banging your damn bowl on my show, god damn it! I don't want to hear your fucking bowl.
They'd be for sure higher. That's for sure. And that's nothing against Jay Scott, but I feel like
he was dealt a bad hand. This, you know.
If Irish decided to stay.
Well, here we go. Like, this is the conversation that I'm leading to right now in the East. We had Montreal, who literally was on the heels coming into this week of New York and New Jersey, which, you know, these two, like, New Jersey's the cream of the top. They're sitting up top. You got New Jersey, you know, sitting there. You got Toronto on their heels, and Montreal was right there on the cusp, and they had a bad night. And Irish and his boys, you know, being a rookie GM, obviously we all been there. You get guys on your team. You don't have any cred. You don't have any like ideas of whatever. You kind of just draft off what you feel is your buddies and or guys that you've seen play that were cool. And all of a sudden you have a bad night and guys start jumping off the train, and it's one thing leads to another. And all of a sudden it's like, you know what, man, I don't need this shit. And he stepped down, and a few other guys stepped down. And then we had Jay Scott come back to the league and take over the team. So Jay Scott, welcome back. You're a nut for becoming a GM again, but I'm glad to have you back.
I was trying to ask him to come back, but he wasn't home to come to the show.
Another, you know, I feel bad kind of because Montreal, we literally beat the night. That was the last time we beat, and then the next day, you know, I find out Irish quit. So like, I know it wasn't our fault.
Oh, he took a drubbing, bro. His team took a drubbing that night. Like they literally lost. They lost to you badly. They lost to me badly, and I forget who else they played that night. But it was like all top 3 teams, all teams that you know. This is the marker. Like these are the guys we need to beat or at least compete with, and they didn't. They literally got whitewashed on the ice.
Being close to Irish, because since he's my cousin, it wasn't so much. It wasn't so much as a bad night, because Irish doesn't like to lose. Chico can vouch for that. He does not. As much as he doesn't like to lose, he does not quit. Like there's a line. There's like a line he won't cross. Like he'll get mad, but for Irish to
if he has a responsibility, what it means.
He won't just quit.
It's very. Never come back to this league.
I heard it was personal issues going on in his life.
Yeah, listen, again, it's only a game, guys. At the end of the day, I mean, life trumps this game every single time.
That's what I tell my guys too.
You know what I mean? Like everyone has their point to get across with guys, and some guys are really competitive and hate losing, and some guys take it with a grain of salt and keep it moving.
But I think it was more than just the team losing, because if the team went 0-3 the whole season, North Irish, he wouldn't have just quit.
Right.
I don't know.
So it wasn't the fact that they lost.
I don't know if
there's something there.
Take a season out where I could go 0-45.
Yeah. Like as much as he hates to lose, he doesn't quit. there's a reason. Whatever the reason is, it's none of our business to know.
Right.
But
No,
there's
listen.
always something there.
Listen, and that's fine. It just so happened that this was the perfect storm. He just had this on top of whatever else was going on in his life, and it was just like, I got to make a decision because this ain't going to work out. And I wish him nothing but the best, and hopefully he gets his shit together and he gets to come back. Great player. I love playing with Irish.
Yeah, he said that he with all the shit that's going on in his life, he really is.
You're cutting in and out. Bro.
Yeah, you're cutting in and out a little bit, Polar, but to keep things moving, this leads me into the next topic, boys. We're looking at the East. Obviously, there's New York, New Jersey. You got Montreal, Ottawa, with Boston still on the heels. You got Pitt making moves, coming in strong. The Islanders tailing down a little bit, but he made some moves too this week. And then you got Toronto, man, Mantle squad, dude. They are official, and they're coming up fast. So don't sleep on Toronto when you see them on the schedule, folks. But we got Jay Scott taking over Montreal. A few guys left after Irish left because of whatever reasons. And now he has to fill his roster. And that leads us to this topic of discussion, which Chico touched on, is people registering for the league not being available or posting availability for 9 games. Didn't even know that and can only play 2 games this week. We talked about Dirty, who said he could only play the night times, but then ends up working to be able Fridays. But still, that's 50-50 at any time with him. So you got these guys, and then now we have no free agents. Like literally, there's I think 3 free agents that have talked back that are available, and the rest of them haven't replied back to Plisk to be marked as available.
We need to find
a great idea to that.
I have it's an idea that can work. It makes sense. First, and especially with LG and VG and SP all running on the same times, Mondays and Tuesdays are hard to get guys on. You've probably had to struggle with it too. I know I have. Mondays I can't. I need an ECU for this Monday like I needed one for last Monday.
Mm-hmm.
So my idea was, why don't we open up, like, not a full-on registration. You open up registrations, and whoever signs up, Pliskin picks guys to fill out the free agency, and the guys who sign up can only be used as FAs. It gets them a feel for the league. It gets GMs looking at them a season ahead, and it fills out what we need for free agents.
But you would have to put a rule onto that, though. That's this thing.
You can't sign them.
For people not to abuse it?
You can't. No, obviously there's a limit. Like,
here's my thing with that. For the regular season, let them play, but come playoffs. But then here's the unfair part of it too, Polar. Here's where I'm at with it. Like, I like that idea because it does give us an opportunity to see guys that are registering now for next season, which we have a whole other topic about that, which I love. Someone posted. We'll talk about that on a different show at the end of the season because I want to. I have ideas. I want to roll with that.
I was on the forum and I saw that and I had to.
Dude, love it. I love it.
In the chat, I had to.
So here's my thing: is now you're taking availability of guys that should be playing like that should get their 3 games a week that now aren't. Those guys are on your roster. Now you go into the playoffs. Those guys still have to play 1 game. You now get to play this guy 1 game who's barely played any games for you that you've had a FA play for him all season long, and you shouldn't be able to use an FA to play in the playoffs. I would make that a rule right off the rep.
Isn't there a rule where everybody has to have at least 15 games played?
Or you can only use the same FA twice.
Yeah, I think I was talking to Cosmo about this, and I think Cosmo says how an FA can only play for a certain team once, or maybe it was Chico.
I say twice.
Not once, but you know what I mean? You can't keep using the same free agent every week.
Right.
Like I said, there should be like a rule on it. Like we would have to talk between GMs and get along and with this because it can open up doors and open up the league even more during the season.
Because I'm not like we need new FAs for the new season. Like because like Cuban said, you have 11 free agents and 3 of them respond to you.
Right.
Yeah.
So let's say 2 teams take 3 of the free agents, then every other team in the league who needs one is fucked.
Right.
And now it's really the concern because how does Plus do it? Like, how does he decide how many teams we have?
On registration.
Yeah. So he takes.
If there's there's 10 teams, 10 players per team minimum roster, and then he tries to have I think around 40 guys in the free agents. and then that's how he determines. He takes 40 off the registration, and then he determines the teams by that.
So I think, what is it? 160 players would be 16 teams at 10 players each with 40 free agents.
Exactly.
So based it off of that, so every team has 10. So basically, if you have 18 teams, it's 180 players with 200. It means we would have had 220 sign up. That would be my guess on how it would work.
But again, we have an issue. We do have an issue with free agents because obviously some of these guys have signed up, and then after the fact, they
don't understand that they can get picked up during the season. They have a hard time getting into that. I don't know why, but it happens that you can be a full timer and like no team interested in you into a full timer in no time, and people don't get that.
Well,
no
here's
patience.
The thing. You know what? Okay, so some of these players that are just sitting there is because they didn't get drafted, but they don't respond to the GMs when they ask them, "Hey, you want to come, play with us?" I
wonder what goes through their minds when they sign up.
Like, I don't know. Some people will message you before the draft and be like, "Hey, I'm in the draft. Here are my stats. Yada yada yada," and then you don't know, they don't get drafted, but you need them come, middle of the season for an ECU, or you end up picking them up in the middle, because you need a.
They answer you 2 days later, 2-3 days later, or never.
Or like you pick them up because you need a guy, and so you pick that guy up because he messaged you before, but then he never replies. So do they just be like, "Oh, it didn't get drafted, peace out"?
Well, in all due fairness, the only other league that I know that has a large free agent list like that is VG, that I know, and half those dudes aren't even active. Like you message them and no one messages back. They've been signed up and played 0 games. They haven't cleared, but that's a lack of their staff removing players that haven't been active. Our list is always registered for that season. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. VG doesn't have the you got to re-register rule. If you never take
but they got guys on there with 0 games played, like after one season, like remove them, like take them off, and these guys don't do that. So plus our list is always up to date for whatever our season is. But this is the frustrating part, like everyone's touching on, is like you message these dudes and they don't even know they signed up for it, and it's like, how do you not know? Then what nights are the games?
Or they don't.
That's the worst one for me. How do you sign up for this league
and not know what days
or game nights?
That's what are you signing up?
I get that one.
Yeah, exactly.
All the time. What nights are the games? Like, dude, we played the
like
game.
You signed up.
Same as last week.
Yeah,
unreal. It's unreal. So hopefully we can figure out what we can do moving forward. I think the idea of posted in the forums.
May I ask?
What do you mean?
Dodges? Oh, that was the thing I saw on the
Dodges posted on a forum about
just to touch base. It's more of a Memorial Cup, like you did 4 or 6 teams round robin with only the rookies that registered in the league. And my suggestion was getting the final 4 GMs to manage each team, not play, but manage, set lines, and set these guys out to play, and then run a round robin, then do a tournament, and then the only way
Eastern
you get
Conference
drafted,
Finals and Western Conference Finals teams.
Yes, well, that's what I'm suggesting. Whoever the GMs are, those final 4 teams. If there's more, then whatever teams make the playoffs.
I need to cut you off.
I saw that.
Liskin wants an invite, and Seed wants to know if we can hear him.
Wow.
Hello?
Hi.
And
I will stop my screen share.
Pliskin wants an invite to cover Ian on this topic that's being discussed.
All right. I will invite the boss.
Damn, fucking party now, boys.
The boss is coming.
Hey, Kaz.
What?
You're ugly.
Thank you. I'll always look like an underwear model next to you, though.
No.
Did Ransom
Cease, can I ask you what was wrong with Bruiser, so I can know for sure? Like it was
I don't think that's appropriate for the show talk.
No.
No,
Can you make it appropriate?
I mean,
I can talk about it because it wasn't really an issue. It was more so
availability, right?
I got Shaker in a trade. Shaker's available 9 a week. He's a good goalie, and it was freeing up cap space to get players.
Wasn't Bruiser good though?
Yeah, Bruiser's good. So is Shaker, and Shaker has better availability. And I traded Bruiser for 2 forwards that can play at least 6 or 9 a week, which I needed because I forfeited 3 games because guys were backing out last minute, not being able to show up. It was a pain in the ass. I needed guys that could show up to games, and now I have that.
Helps both teams because Mansell was searching for a goalie since the beginning.
I don't know what it is, but it's like every week Mansell's searching for a goalie.
It is.
That's crazy.
It's true. I always see him searching for a goalie. I traded him a goalie week for Sullivan, and then he came back like 2 nights later saying, I need a goalie.
This is to clarify the free agents topic, or is it the Dodgers topic about the memorial?
I don't know. I think this is the Dodgers one. I don't know. I saw that on the form, and I had to bring it up.
But what was the thing that we used to do? It was a small, not tournament, but
no, it was the showcase.
Showcase.
Yes, we did the showcase.
Yeah, but the showcase. The problem is the showcase wasn't mandatory.
Easy. The boss is in the house.
What? I'm not afraid of him.
Stop! I gotta play the boss, and boss can't get played in. Hold on.
No. Whoa!
When Gary
Everyone, special
enters
edition
the house,
on the
you gotta
show.
boo him.
Whoa!
The commish, boss man, SA plays.
Hey,
What's up,
people.
boss?
Hello.
Whoa!
What's up, fellas?
What's up? What's going on, boss?
I just heard the conversation. I want to get on that. It was some really good ideas I heard.
Whoa!
I understand suspension.
Was that the
So where do you want to jump in on that?
Yeah.
The free agent thing. I want to jump in with that.
Okay.
I've always been plagued by that. That's always been a problem for this league. The idea of letting them, guys in late has always been a problem because you always got those guys who don't sign up and then magically they're good to go after the draft or whatever. And my fear has always been, a big guy not showing up so he doesn't get drafted. Then he comes in free agency when everyone's spent their budget. That's always been my concern. But I like the idea of making them free agents only. The only problem I have with that,
you would have to make a rule on how many games they play or something.
There's got to be something because there's teams that seem to have a free agent almost every night.
But you could even tell your players just put this availability and just play these games, and then I'll have somebody else play the other games and have an ECU in, or they can work something out.
If you limit that player to play for that GM only 2 or let's say 3, since 3 is our league number, 3 games
a week.
Not a week.
No,
3 games. That's it. No. 3 games.
The whole season?
Yeah, man. There's other free agents he's going to be having in there.
Okay.
Players?
Yeah, because to me it makes a lot more sense. At least this way it gets more people for next year signed up as well.
Let me touch on
3 games sounds good.
Let me touch
3 games for per team.
Hold on. Let me touch on what the boss man said about teams always have. Some teams always have one GM of it or one free agent available. I think that is because free agents are active on the site, but they don't say anything. So when a top team, such as Anaheim or New York or New Jersey need one,
Clarify New York. My team sucks.
New York. They're gonna be like, oh yeah, top team. I want to play for them. But now, no offense to the boss man, but I'm gonna use Vegas for example here.
Hey,
Fuck you, Will.
Let's use
beat us
St. Louis.
5-1.
If Vegas,
No, St. Louis is a bad one too. They got the whole free agent on
Listen,
this.
could
You
have
should
beat
make
the
it a rookie
baseball
rule.
stock circle, but they beat us 5-1.
But if Vegas goes to a guy and goes, "Hey, I know you're active. You want to, play for us?" They might not get an answer the next day. Be like, "Oh, I wasn't. I just got the message. I wasn't available."
Maybe. It's hard for me to know that that's true or not because I get responses, but it could just because it's from me.
It could be
But again, not a lot of them know who the fuck I am. So it's like, a lot of them just sign up. And the problem with the free agency is, and I'm glad the word's getting out, but we're not doing a good job educating our friends. We tell them sign up and you can play league, and then they don't tell them any details. They don't tell them what the league is, what the rules are. They just tell them, "Oh, I got this league. You should sign up." They do. They have no idea what they signed up for or what's going on or what the timing of everything is, and then all of a sudden they're just lost. They're completely lost. They don't know, and if they don't get to play with their buddies, then they're not interested. We need to educate them. It's the responsibility of everybody. You have to, if you're inviting a friend, you got to explain to them this is not club. You will not play with me necessarily.
That's exactly.
What if we put a specific person on that, like a job?
I don't think that should be a job of it. If you're gonna invite friends,
not invite friends, but like open up the league, give a job to someone and go.
You mean like a
staff?
What do you call them? Not a greeter, but a
welcome guy.
No, a scout for the league.
Welcome, Matt.
No, there's like I'm trying to think of the term for it.
A secretary, give them a little bit of info on what's going on.
Well, forget the title, but yeah, somebody who basically
scouts for the league,
orientation, league orientation type of deal.
Orienter.
Yeah, that would go out there and search from other leagues, search from all the ESHL, and
not really talking about a scout. I mean, someone who will see the new names, get in contact with them, explain to them everything that's involved with the league, because when it comes to the draft, it's too friggin' late. They got to know beforehand.
Rookie coordinator.
And then
there you go.
And then if you're bringing in your buddies,
booty call.
If you're bringing in your buddies, or your buddies are bringing in buddies,
that's a different story.
But that's their job to let them know, hey, this, there's 15 other teams, 17 other teams. There's no 100% guarantee you're gonna play with me. So whoever drafts you, you have to play for them. No, bitching out and being like, "Oh, hey, I can't play." Or
yeah, I know.
And it's everywhere. Like, that's the one thing that's not happening. If people like this league and they want it to grow, if they want it to strive, you got to do your part. You got to educate your friends. You can't expect them, sign up so that way there's a guy in the free agency. You got to tell them what's going on, because majority of them have no idea.
I like the memorial thing, though. I'll say that.
That is a great idea.
But I don't like the mandatory thing, and that'll push away a lot of people.
I don't think it'll push away a lot of people. I think it'll get us GMs an opportunity to see the guys that are going to be serious and know what this league's about.
Here's my thought on that. It sounds to us, because we're veterans, we it's like, extra work, I don't want to do that. So mentality would push us away. It won't. But it feels like it would. For these guys that are new to the league, I don't think it would push them away, because I remember when I started playing leagues, I was excited. I was stoked to do anything league-wise. And if someone came to me and said, "Oh, we got a Calder Cup that you need to play in order to get into the league," I'd be like, "Oh, sign me up." There's no way a rookie would be like, I'm not really interested in that. It doesn't make sense.
But rookies to our league and veterans to other leagues won't get interested into that.
I'll tell you what, when I played Xbox way back on NHL 11 and LG started their leagues up, they would make guys play against other GMs in games for them to find out if this player is a cheeser or if he's a legit player before they let them register into the league. You know what I'm saying? So
LG still has that.
We're not well.
No. LG don't have that rule no more.
They don't have that no more, man, because I registered for the PS one. That's different. Yeah, that's pickup. This was like a legit tryout after, before you you register, and then you would try out before you. Yes, they made you play before they let you into the league.
Oh,
and this is kind of what we're trying to do. Is
you're
similar.
See if so that was the current concern we had. Excuse me. Is guys that are being forced to play, who are coming in just to play with the buddies, they're going to tank just to kind of get away from it all. So that's actually a good fix, because if you're forcing them to play well or they're not going to make the cut, they can't afford to screw around.
But
Right.
if you're only doing
Because that name now all of a sudden it's
only-
like you're watching streams and this guy's being a troll. It's like, yo, why is this dude? Yo, get him out. Like, hey, this guy doesn't want to play obviously league. He just wants to be out here and be a troll. Take him off the list. You understand what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
guys has to perform because everyone's going to be watching these games. Everyone's going to be looking at these stats, and then the
But
guys that do play in these,
we put it just rookies.
yeah, just rookies. There's no GM.
Well,
like,
there'd have to be at least one vet in there to record it.
No. Well, obviously, yeah. The whoever's the GM of the team, like I suggested, was whoever makes the playoffs or the GMs that would be eligible
Final
to
four
run the
teams.
teams. Final 4, Final 6, depend on how many guys we get that are rookies that sign up. Depends on how many teams we'll be able to make and how many GMs we need.
If we're doing it the scouting way, and you want teams to get better, shouldn't it be the bottom 4 GMs that do it so they can get better scouting?
You know what? But here's my thing with.
No,
And
it's
again,
because Seeds know he's gonna go down there. That's why.
Well, listen, I like that.
Don't give a fuck.
I like that, but let's put this in premise, and it's no offense to any of these other GMs. It's like they're having the bottom 4 guys are having their issues right now with the guys that they have, and then all of a sudden you're going to get rookies that you want to put an impression on. Why are you going to put the bottom 4 GMs to be the impression of the league?
Understandable.
Wouldn't you want to put your best men on the task?
First impression.
Exactly, bro. And that's like, honest to shit. If you put Reaper or Browns as my GM, no, but I'm being honest. I would be more turned on to be playing in the league with Reaper as the representative and seeing what his team has done and him being the manager of my team versus what just happened with how Browns is kind of strong and cold-hearted and he comes off a little rough around the edges and his teams aren't always that well. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, who do you want out there?
I mean,
I'd personally pick Reaper for that job.
I mean, if you want to look at the top teams. I mean, Cosmo's got a great team, but you put him on a team of rookies, you're like, how the hell does this guy have a great team?
I was starting to mince my words there once I realized Cos was in the top.
You're up there, don't worry. I see you.
Yeah. Hey, my team's full of rookies. What are you talking about?
Yeah. Rookies and you and Ransom.
Jesus.
Ransom was the rookie last
but
year?
You got the rookie of the year on your right D on your team over there.
The idea of it is very good. I love the premise of it, and it's just there's a lot of stuff we need to talk about. Like we literally just spent 15 minutes here talking about this, and we still don't have there's a lot of stuff to iron out. But it's a great idea we need to run with as a league.
Here's the only issue I see with it is people. It's a great league. People in other leagues who come over look down on this league and think of it, oh, it's just some crappy league. It's not, but before they even play in it, they already have that mentality. Because people who had a bad experience say that. So that's what they have in coming in. So if we say, oh, hey, you got to do this before you can even sign up, that might turn those guys away.
Well, we want them to sign up. It's if their eligibility into the draft is dependent on them playing in this Memorial Cup.
Okay,
if not, then they'll be like we're talking about an FA. If they don't do the Memorial, then they're an FA and they'll only get to play 3 games per each owner in the team or in the league. So it's like either play and maybe get drafted or be a free agent that can get picked up, or you don't play and you're an FA and you only get to play 3 games for your buddy who told you, hey, go in there and tank or don't play that because, I'll still draft you. No, you can't draft him. And guess what? You can't sign him because he's an FA now because he didn't get to try out in the Memorial Cup.
Okay. See, I only read it.
That's how I would want it presented to these guys. It's like it's a mandatory thing. It's rookie showcase. Okay, that was us. That's our first inklings of trying to do something. But this Memorial Cup, like, hey, guess what? If you don't play, you're not going to get drafted and you're not going to get signed. But you're still be in the league as an FA to fill in for ECUs. But you only get to play for a team 3 times.
So we have to. So you'd have to do it with 4, or you would have to have teams of either 4, 4, 8, 12. You would have to have
whatever amount of rookies that are signed up. It will determine how many teams we'll need. And even then, we don't need to have 10. We can just have 6 or 8 guys on a rookie team to spread out to make it more teams so we can get more games in and do it on game nights.
That's what I was just thinking. Only doing 6 guys. 6.
No, don't do 6 because if a guy can't make it, now you're handcuffed.
I was talking
have at
about
least
like,
8 and then switch those guys out game by game because they'll play 3 games on Monday, 3 games on Tuesday, and then 3 games on Friday, or we'll do Wednesday, whatever night. We'll talk that stuff out, but I'm saying like use this Memorial Cup as our gold standard of rookies
Experienced GMs
joining.
will know what to do. No worries.
Exactly. Chico will know what to do.
What do you mean? No worries?
What?
I don't know if I trust Chico with that.
I would, absolutely.
Why wouldn't you trust me?
I trust Seed.
As for the free agency thing, as a league right now, Plisk, what is it? What are our options that you're thinking about doing? Now we got in this tirade with rookies. Let's get back into the free agency thing, dude, because this is an issue.
Yes, my plan right now. I've messaged all the free agents. Only about 3 have responded. The rest will be deleted tomorrow. Then I'm going to see what teams can afford to remove guys. I'll ask them just without any cap penalties, just to kind of release them. St. Louis, for example.
Well, I know 100%. Fox Sniper.
Yeah, the free agent list number 2.
Fox Sniper has replied to me about playing previously, but not within the last.
Yeah, but he's on and off. He's replied to me too.
Yeah.
So far, the only people who've responded to me is Hippie, Riverhawk, and Kamikaze. The rest have not. I've messaged them on Monday. If they haven't responded to me by Sunday, they're getting removed, regardless if they've replied to you in the past.
2 of those guys
have to reply to Plisk, not to you.
2 of those guys have been picked up, though, that you just mentioned.
Yeah. Okay. So those are the ones that have responded. The rest will be removed. So yeah, I'm going to see what St. Louis and a couple other teams can do to add to that list. My feeling is we need guys, but
can we open up the registration now? Like we did open a few seasons ago, or
it's already open.
No, he's talking about bringing them in.
You mean adding? That's the next stage. If we can't fill the need, but again, like I said, there are too many teams, and it's a common thing. And I know people want to win. I know they want to put the best team possible. But they're the same teams that are complaining about not having free agents, yet there are guys on the list who aren't even playing that can play. If you're not picking guys up, you're just either forfeiting or grabbing free agents every day. You're doing it wrong. Straight up. Like if you have not picked up a guy who's available just because you think he won't help your team the most, you know what I mean? You have no right to complain about a lack of players.
I 100% agree. I mean, no offense to anybody, but 2 of those guys that are on teams now have actually played with us in games before. Herb, I forgot who picked him up. I think it was the Islanders.
It was Trex.
Ottawa.
Okay, so we played him as a free agent, as an ECU. He got picked up the next day. And then Tyler, we played with him in some just random club games, see what he was like. Didn't even play him in a game. We just picked him up and then played him one night. And then, now look, he's over on Polar helping them win. So,
yeah,
I don't know if Polar's still in here or not, but Polar's mentioned to me a couple times how great he is. So, it's us as GMs, we don't have to use guys as free agents. We could try them out during the middle of the season and see how they are. And then if a guy needs somebody, be like, hey, look, this guy's pretty good. I don't need him. Maybe you should.
Was it last season or 2 seasons ago we opened the free agent?
Last season.
That was
last season.
Last season.
How did that go? That was not bad.
It helped, but it became the same problem. People just cycled through their players and still complained they didn't have enough players because they just,
I would say just
one
use
team
it
would
for
scoop up
ECUs,
4.
or no?
It's possible. Yeah, I mean, it's an option for sure. If we bring in guys, but again, I want to make sure they're the right guys because some guys are under contract. I don't want to bring in.
Bring in rookies.
And that's the problem. There's always an issue no matter how we do it.
Who should be able to be adding on free agents that you bring in? Like that's where I'm looking at it. Just listening to the conversation, like a team that has 10 guys, but only the same 6 guys are playing. I mean, okay, they need to get some guys on there and get those dudes removed to get active players. But a team that has 11 guys that are all playing now all of a sudden start dropping active guys to pick up free agents, that shouldn't be allowed.
Here's here's my suggestion to this: open the free agents, and whether someone has their rights or not, as of right now for the rest of the season, let them only be free agents. They can't be picked up unless they come to you plus saying, "Look, I have this guy's inactive."
Just for ECU rules. Follow the ECU rules.
Be like, this guy's inactive. I have to replace him. But you have to have proof stating that guy's inactive.
Yeah, but that should already been done at this point, Kaz. Like these guys should have already reported these guys already and should already been removed.
I say just keep it ECU. Just keep it ECU for now.
But other than that,
I agree. I think it should stay ECU.
I think so too.
Has to be an ECU. Whether someone has their rights or not, let them come in, but they can't be on a team. Like they can't, that team can't pick them up.
Literally, the guys that you add into the FA cannot be picked up or ECU, and should only add. I mean, I want to say like one per team, but then you might have an influx of too many because not all teams need ECUs.
Every team's probably at one point going to need an ECU, unless you're lucky.
Unless you're St. Louis.
Yeah. I was gonna say, even us, we're number one, and we still need ECUs. It's just, no matter where you're at, you're gonna need them unless you have 14 players on your team.
The concern I have is, again, the free agents on the list already who are available, who will be overlooked even though they've signed up on time. They're here, they're ready to play, they're getting ignored, and we're bringing guys into the league to cover for them. I don't like that aspect of it.
Well, right. I mean, the serious issue is we've all messaged them. You've messaged them. Other people.
I messaged all of them. I searched up their stats. I've done that already.
And you've tried to contact them, and they haven't replied. And only a few replied, and two of them I know aren't even available on that list anymore because they've been picked up.
Yeah.
So that leaves one guy on that list who's even available to ECU. You can't have one guy ECU for 5 teams at the same time. That's just physically not possible. So we're gonna have to.
I agree.
We have to open it up, at some, to some extent. Like you guys have said, keeping them all free agent only, ECU eligible. No one can pick people up. Unless Plisk.
I know.
There has to be. Even if they do have a guy who's inactive, I think we should stay strong on the ECU idea, because if they can remove him,
but okay,
that adds more problems. Yeah, because if they can't replace them,
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. They come to you, and then you hand them one. You hand pick a guy.
Yes, that I agree with. If you pick a guy, or you like what you're about to do now, is go to the other teams and say, "Hey, look, who can you let go so that I can do this and that?" That's fine. I would happily give an active guy, if I'm over, to a team to replace an inactive guy rather than him pick up an FA that is an ECU. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, okay. I don't think it's fair for them to get an ECU/FA now at this point after they should have already reported these dudes.
Yeah, I agree. Like, and so we'll say we're just gonna go to New Jersey this time because you're in here, okay?
That's fun.
Okay, we'll say you have somebody who, has to go on vacation or something happens and they can't play no more. Okay, so now you're down to 9 guys, but we opened up the free agency, but you can't pick anybody up. Let Plisk hand pick a guy out of the free agent list.
Yeah, but that's a circumstance. That's me putting him on IR, and at that point, I would ask for an exception not to add a player on because I'm still good for my guys for the week. I just got one on vacation for the week. That's all.
But that's what I'm saying is if someone needs to,
don't dock me points for not playing all 10 of my guys when one of my guys is on vacay.
When someone needs to be replaced, for whatever reason, let Plisk handpick the guy, so that way you're not taking your best buddy.
Right. Well, I mean, again, this is all stuff that Pliss needs to think about, and I think we've filled his cup with plenty of ideas, and his minds and wheels is turning.
Yeah, it is. It's spinning right now. A lot of good ideas. A lot of.
I mean, it's a lot of stuff you got to throw out there and think about, and just see where the polls. I would say definitely you would either need to make a decision on how you want to, gavel it and just be like, hey, this is what I'm going to do, and you guys should be glad I'm doing it.
Also, mid.
I think if you open it up to a vote, it's going to be crazy, dude. Like, you just need to figure out how you want to do it and then bounce a few ideas around and loopholes, and then just be like, hey, this is how we're going to handle it. Behave. And if it gets out of hand, I'll shut it down.
In the middle of the season, opening it up, it can lead to the rookies or veterans in the middle of the season asking to get picked up for ECU and getting involved instead of like just being there and rookies.
We got to clean the list up first.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So
I'm just waiting for those power rankings, though.
That's what I was gonna say. So what are the power rankings now?
Well, all right. Now that we've filled up the Pliss Cup, here are the power rankings to end the show.
You definitely need a screen share because
yes.
That's the only thing I need a screen share on.
Here we go. Power rankings for this week.
I'll let you know when they're up.
Let me know.
You might need to make that screen a little bit bigger. If you can,
yes,
stretch it.
Yes, I can. What's full screen? I think it's F10. No, F11. There we go. Full screen mode. And then
let's see. I'm waiting for it to pop up.
Control.
There we go.
How's that? Better?
That's better.
All right, right off the get, power rankings, week 2, not much moving into top 4. New York Rangers number 1, Anaheim number 2, LA number 3, and the New Jersey Devils number 4.
I think New Jersey should move above LA personally.
I don't. I think that we played and they beat us, and them beating us.
Square.
Yes, them beating us thus leaves them at number 3. I do not go by the standings. I go by, trust me, there's a science to this. And LA stays number 3, and New Jersey will stay number 4.
As soon as we face Anaheim, then we could talk in the top 2 to go in after you, Cosmo.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Good luck with going after me.
Mover up is Chicago, obviously. The team I already spoke about, Mansell's boys, Toronto, moved up 5 spots from 11 to number 6 in the rankings. He's making all the right moves, and he's got his chemistry going. They're the winners of, I believe, 5 in a row I showed earlier in the show. And then Dallas, the sleeping giant, 1 week I have them in the top 10. Then they fall down to 15, staring at the gutter, and then boom, they wake up. I guess I pissed them off, and they jump up 8 spots, move up to number 7 there. I think I have that effect on teams. Waking them up.
Hurry up and piss us off, would you?
Well, I keep giving you in the middle of the pack, and I figured you guys be sick of being in the middle and decide to either suck it up or fucking move up. So shit or get off the pot, please.
We're content. You gotta piss us off. We're a content team.
I'll drop you down. I swear to God.
You gotta piss my guys off a little bit more, man.
I can't piss them off anymore. They're sitting at the top. They're sitting pretty. They're the new Carolina.
Niner 2.0.
Yeah, Niner 2.0 with your ringers on your team.
Not even close.
Then we got Calgary moving up 2 spots, surprisingly. Sitting in the middle of the pack still. Pittsburgh, big mover, moved up from 14 to 9. Obviously, Polar was on earlier, said how he shook everything up, and he's got the roster set to his liking. I see that team moving up maybe into the top 5 in a few weeks. And then, the Vegas Knights sitting in murky water, dropping down the spot. That was
Vegas. Vegas. You know what you need to do? You need to go talk to James Neal.
Who?
I feel like Ottawa should be
James Neal and
fighting with Pittsburgh right there. Even Calgary.
I was talking about he's not even doing half as good as the real Vegas. Come on.
Yeah, the real Vegas is killing it.
You gotta go give them a talk and see what they're.
That's what I feel like. Ottawa should be higher a little.
Just wait this week. I think we might have figured something out. But our problem was Team D. We have a very weak Team D at the moment. Our goaltender is solid. If we can get him in most games, we got Steelers fan on left D for at least 5 games. Well, maximum 5 games.
Right.
So we can, and he's a stud. When he played D for us, we played really well. But
if his availability was any high, if his availability was 6 or 7, everybody he would have. There's no way you'd have him, bro. Like I could tell you that right.
No, there wouldn't be a chance in hell.
His availability is what scares everybody.
Yeah. So we just got to find. I mean, most of our big scorers we can't seem to get on the ice. Like Boosh has been working. We haven't been able to get him much.
Maybe go and get his brother in Montreal. Wink, wink.
Who's his brother?
Dead Rising.
Who's his brother?
Steelers dead.
Oh, Steelers brother. Oh.
Yeah.
No, because he's playing some World of Warcraft shit. Like, no.
No, Dad's doing amazing over there in Montreal.
Dad is doing great.
Yeah.
And then we got Ottawa moving up 2 spots from 13 to 11. And then Seeds, who was on earlier, already spoke the greatness of his team, and they're shitting the bed a little bit this week, and they dropped down from 8 down to 12. And then we had the Montreal slight collapse this week, but we have Jay Scott in there now, so I don't expect that team to be down there much longer. He's getting it together, and once Pliss gets this FA
thing he lost
going,
3 star of his star players.
Yeah,
you know?
once he can retool his team a little bit, once Pliss talks to all of us and whoever has an abundance of players on their team, St. Louis, and give some guys up, and he can retool his team a little bit with St. Louis's extra.
The thing is, St. Louis has 15 players?
I think he dropped down a
still
little
15?
bit.
I thought he dropped one.
Yeah, I thought he dropped one. I thought
They're
he was down
only
to
like
13 or
3
14.
above like certain teams. I know I'm at 12. I'm at 12,
So, yeah.
and other teams are at other 11 or 12.
That's 3 extra players that could,
be playing 6 games a week instead of 3 games a week, man.
I guess, yeah.
I mean, you tell me, you want to stay on St. Louis and play 3 a week, or do you want to go to Montreal and play?
That's his freedom, you know what I mean?
Well, that's why you got to talk to him. Exactly. It's his choice, man. He doesn't have to do it.
Yeah, he's got 14.
We played St. Louis yesterday, and I mean, he's got good players. I was surprised. I was actually surprised they showed up. To be honest with you, to be straight up, I was surprised they showed up with the way they're playing, with their record. I'm not gonna go based on paper.
Those guys are a group of friends, man. They have a laughter and stuff. They don't care. Well, they do care, but they have a laughter. I know Rookie, and they have fun in there.
I think we played Chell and Buds yesterday. It was a good game. I enjoyed it. It was close. 4-2 game. They have a good team. It's just too many guys. They're not getting the games or probably the lines that they want. He needs to have a haircut.
Yeah, it's a bit of a double-edged blade.
Gotta go to barbershop, Rookie.
You won't worry about forfeits, but you can't get that chemistry.
Exactly. He'll play every game, but not with the best lines.
Yeah.
So the big drop this week's Dallas, I'll call it, is the Colorado Avalanche. The Eggman squad.
It's very surprising.
Dropped 9 spots all the way down to 14.
Ouch.
Big drop for them. Obviously, something happened. I didn't dig into it. I don't think Egg's nervous, to be honest with you. I think he just is. There's something up availability.
I don't know what's wrong.
He dropped more than just that. He also I think he dropped his computer today as well.
Yes, technical difficulties out in Colorado for poor Egg. But he doesn't need his computer anyway because there's no free agents to pick up, so there's nothing he can do. Pistol Pete recovering nicely, but not well enough. His team drops 3 spots from 12 down to 15. And then the redheaded stepchild of the league currently, El Rook, and his 14-man roster sitting at the 16 spot, nice and comfy with his warm blanket, holding us down literally at the bottom spot here at the end of week 2.
It's very
Polar's
surprising from week 1 and week 2 right now. Like, if you really look at it, there's just a few spots that don't make sense. Like, it came back to
What do you
normal.
mean?
Like the Montreal, Boston, the Pittsburgh, St. Louis.
Montreal went 2-6-2 this week. It's hard for me to like keep them 7th if they drop down.
No,
like,
but I mean, remember when you put them in the preseason? Sorry, the
Oh.
preseason, not the week 1.
Oh, the
My bad.
preseason. Well, dude, because we're looking at right off the rip, and I even said it during the preseason, like the preseason week 1 show. Like when I
No,
did
but you
these
don't look that
rankings-
crazy anymore. That's what I'm trying to say.
Oh, yeah,
It
because
doesn't
it
look
does
as-
look. Yeah. Well, but the thing with the Montreal dropping down was obviously the what just happened this week with them, and they had a bad week. You know what I mean? But dude, like I just looked at rosters and just literally broke down rosters and what could happen. The shocker for me was Dallas going from what I ranked them 6th down to 9th, but then here they go. They jump right back up to 7th. You know what I mean? Like Avenge turned it around.
Yeah.
And then you obviously I had ranked at the bottom is because I didn't know any of your guys, and then boom, you jumped up 13 spots and you're there 2 weeks in a row now. You know what I mean? Like it's very legit.
Yeah.
Usually the teams that are in, like, I mean, you got your preseason picks, you know, but then usually the teams after week 1, the top 4 or 5 usually stay there. By week 2, they're usually set. That's how they're pretty much gonna run through the, within,
That's why I was surprised with Colorado. I was very surprised that they got dropped out of the top 5.
So pretty much
They had a tough week.
Week 2 through 5, I'm predicting there won't be much change. I mean, there'll be
and I disagree. I
Yeah.
think there's going to be some change because there's going to be some movement on rosters, and it's going to be a lot of bodies moving in the transactions in the next 2 weeks.
When is trade deadline, by the way?
At the end
It's
of week
always
4.
the fourth weekend. Yeah, Saturdays.
Sorry, Pliss, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, it's all good.
I think, next week we're gonna see a little bit of change. Week 4, probably not much, and then week 5, probably none. I'm just going straight.
Well, there's not going to. Yeah, week 5 is pretty much just going to be like, hey, here are the playoff teams. Like here are the 12 teams that made the playoffs, and the bottom 4 that didn't make. And this is how the cookies crumbled. And then we'll be talking about playoff matchups and everything like that. So, but definitely, I think, Kaz, you're right. There's going to be a little bit more movement week 3, but come week 4 and week 5, depending on the trades and everything that happens, it's pretty going to be locked up after that. Like the rankings are going to be pretty steady.
To be honest with you, I think the top 5 at the moment won't change much. There'll be some.
No, I don't think so either.
I think.
Listen, the teams that I'm looking at right now that are going to make
Toronto or Dallas slips into Chicago.
Toronto.
Spot,
I don't listen. Dallas is. Let's see where they fall next week, boys. But right now, my eyes are on Toronto and Pittsburgh, and then if what Pliss says is true, Vegas is someone to keep an eye on. Everyone else, I think, is going to be right where they're at. But I'm looking Toronto and Pittsburgh and Vegas.
I don't know. I'll give you the inside info on that one there, Cuban. When we play Vegas on Monday.
Well, yeah, Pliss beat that ass. Beat that ass.
Oh, we got you on Monday. Oh, there goes our
Yeah,
streak.
we got you. We got you at 10:30 on Monday.
Oh, okay, at least we get up the 4-win streak.
Boom, boom, boom.
I think we play Anaheim. I'll go check if you want to go check. But I play Anaheim on Monday, I think.
Really?
I think so. I'll go check
Correct me
right
if
now.
I'm wrong, Kaz. The last game we played was really close too, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a 3-2 game.
Yeah. We collapsed in the third or something like that because we were winning.
We play.
Yeah, you guys went up 2-1 on us, and then we came back in the third, I think.
Yeah, okay, that sounds about right.
Yeah, Cuban. We play Anaheim and Chicago. Game 1, game 2 on Monday.
Hey, there you go.
That's gonna be good matchups.
Measuring stick. Use it for the measuring stick.
Nice.
I obviously, and I do not lie, I do not look at who we play at until literally the day of our games because I just wait for availability, post who can play, and then I look at the schedule the day of the games and be like, oh, great, we're playing this team, this team, this team, and this is what I'm rolling out there. But I don't care. Like, everyone's got to get their games in.
I literally play all 3 teams Monday that you.
Oh, you face Pliskin. You face Pliskin game 1 Monday.
Who does? I do?
Yeah.
Here you go.
I played.
I can tell you right now, you're going to see Lindy at left wing. That's my definite. Lindy can always play Mondays at 9, and I always put him in Mondays at 9. So Lindy's left wing. After that, I don't know yet.
I played Toronto, Pittsburgh, and Vegas. The 3 teams you said to watch.
Hey, and listen, I just called you out, teams. I just called you out. Toronto, Pittsburgh, and Vegas.
I'm calling out Ottawa.
You got the Rangers.
I'll be here.
Congratulations. You've made the show, and now your team is going against the best team in SP right now. Let's see where you're at.
No, I'll call out Ottawa. I'll be respectful. I'll call out Ottawa. Ottawa was not bad against us. He was a really good team compared to what they started with. Yeah, Ottawa. I'm surprised on Ottawa right now.
I think once Tread's availability frees up a little bit for Tricks, that team's going to be one to watch for. But until that happens, I'm a wait and see kind of guy, because obviously what he's got going out there right now, he's treading water, and I think once Tread
is the main thing right there.
I talked to Tread, and he feels bad for his availability once Tricks traded for him, but he told Tricks, like, after I think this upcoming week, like, so week 4 and week 5, where he's going to have to be available, he'll be available for him, and that's going to be big moves for him at that point.
Yeah.
Oh, Tread's going to help out Ottawa a ton. Like, once he becomes available.
But him and Kingley and Dirty Tricks, those guys, it's just natural chemistry. I saw it play out. I was in Nets, a little scared, but I saw it play out, and they're just naturally passing it, cycling it. I don't know. They're not hogging it at all. They were playing together. It was looking good. And they don't have like anyone, like a nobody in back there. They have Dynasty, which is a good defenseman back there.
Oh, Dynasty's a great defenseman.
Yeah, so they could be surprising, I'd say.
So we will see. We will see how week 3 plays out in the SPNHL, gentlemen. Again, it was a full house show. I was trying to do in 45 minutes, but it got crazy, and it's a big show. So I'm glad everyone came on. I don't care how long the show usually runs, and I appreciate everyone that's been watching and will watch the show. Thanks for tuning in. Chico, what do you got for us on the sign out here, bud?
Nothing. I'm happy to be here, and I hope to come back next week for sure.
Kaz, what do you got?
It was a pleasure being with you for the 2nd week, and you better have me back next week too.
Listen, man, I don't have a list. If you want to be on, send me a message and you're on. It's just that easy. Ask Chico.
Oh yeah.
It's very simple. Boss man, for Christ's sakes, at the end of the show, jumping on. I mean, all you gotta do is send the message. Hey, put me on. There you go. Boss man, what do you got?
Give me some highlights, boys. Vegas and New Jersey seem to be controlling that board.
Yeah, I literally the other night I just jumped on for the one last game, and I was like, all right, yeah, I'm gonna hit the double tap and record, and then all of a sudden, god damn it, I forgot. I still have highlights from middle of the week I got to look through, and I'll probably clip that now since you just mentioned it. But definitely, I got to remember to double tap the share button to start that recording, man, because I keep forgetting.
I think it'll happen more between week 3 and week 4 for the top teams.
You know,
not hating on the lower teams, but the top teams are not going to focus on chemistry because it's already clicking for them. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not trying to be rude or anything. That's what I'm saying. Like, our lines are already clicking. We're not going to focus on
we know what our lines are.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I know what you're saying. Like, we already have our top lines. We know who our guys are and who we're going to play with who. At this point, it's just let's get through the season.
Yeah, exactly. So we're going to be concentrating more on the highlights and then extras. That's what I mean.
No, well, the guys, listen, trust me, when you're sitting in the chat and the guys are like, are you taping this? Because I want to see that on the highlights. And it's like, yeah. And then you go to do it and you're like, shit, I didn't tape it. And then you get in the chat and you get shit on.
Just so you know, the system automatically records all the time. If you forgot to hit the record button, if you hit the share button, go down to save clip, it'll take the last 15 minutes of whatever you were doing.
You can change.
You sure about that? Because I did that and it
Positive.
didn't. All right.
You
So
can
just hit
change it.
share and go to save clip, and it'll save my last. I do 30 minutes. I changed it to 30.
You can do 30.
switch to
so
30?
Yeah, I switched mine to 30 because I know my games. Like, I just want to be covered. So I'll make
Right.
sure to do that.
I put
hit
it to
the
an
share
hour.
and after.
Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah, 60 minutes.
I might do that. I might do that too.
Yeah, so you don't miss anything.
I also keep my streams and then just download them to my PC.
Yeah, but you got that pro and you got that stuff, and I don't have any of that. I like the PlayStation. It's simple, and I figured it out.
I uploaded one video when I was like ready to go, and a few nights like now I'm like concentrated. I was concentrated, and like sometimes I do it, sometimes I don't. But it's very easy. It's very easy to.
Yeah,
put
it's
it on.
very easy. The way I was doing it is pretty quick. So
since I did the highlights for our game last time, you can do the ones for us Monday.
Sure. Yeah, I'm working on some right now for Friday. But yeah, definitely get them in there for if you want.
So
if you let us win, I'll do it for you.
Yeah, there you go. That's how you get the win.
Teams fucking highlights.
We don't
You want highlights? Let me win.
We don't hand out wins.
It's not a handout; it's a trade.
That is true.
Yeah.
Post it.
Here, we'll let you win.
W's for highlights accepted by Pliskin.
Yep.
We can have a W, but we'll take the 2 points.
No, don't work like that.
No. Don't take advantage of those lower teams now.
Yeah, come on, man. You can't do that.
Hey,
how are they supposed to get out of the middle of the
trades,
without
never want to
getting
lose?
Yeah, you gotta get the points. Can't be sitting in murky waters with Vegas.
Yeah, we don't need those. We don't need that. We don't need W's. We need 2 points.
There you go. Yeah, they gotta stay up. They're riding for they're fighting for their playoff life right now.
We'll give them 1. We'll split it. We get 2. They get 1.
Beat us in overtime.
Niner 2.0.
Oh yeah. So again, thank you, Chico, Plisk, and Kaz for coming on. And everyone enjoy the rest of their weekend. And we'll get back on this on Monday. As always, be kind to each other on and off the ice. Virtual hockey player lives matter.
Ciao, bye.